Good morning, T-Birds. It's your boy Don, and I'm here with.
Jazmin, and we're here today with one of five board directors for Tacoma Public Schools.
Oh, it's my turn?
Yeah.
Korey Strozier.
First thing first, wow, one of five, that's very selective. How were you able to achieve where you are today?
Good question. I was able to see a need, right? So before I got on the school board, I had noticed that, I understood that representation is everything. And at the time, there was not much black male representation on the Tacoma School Board. So first I had to figure out, how do you even get on the school board?
Yeah.
Secondly, I had to understand the purpose of a school board. And then three, I had to do some personal reflection to see if I even had time to commit to what's necessary. But I'm only the second black male ever elected to the Tacoma School Board in our history. The other one was Mr. Willie Stewart a little while ago. So that's how I got here, by just doing the research and figuring out what was necessary to make sure that I could commit the time, having a real reason for being here.
Okay. And you said you wanted to see the purpose of the school board. What did you find was the purpose of the school board?
Yeah, so it's very specific, right? So from the outside looking in, and I feel like we're here in safe space in Mount Tahoma, so I could just keep it G with y'all.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in, folks have a lot of things that they don't like.
Yeah.
I was one of those people where I saw a problem in a school with operations, and I'd say, what does the school board even do? They don't even do nothing. They don't care about the kids. They don't care about this. But the reality is the school board works at a policy level.
Yeah.
Right? Which means we influence all policies that are in on our website that impact students, staff, and anybody affiliated with Tacoma Public Schools. We don't necessarily deal in operations. So let's say you're having an issue with your teacher. Your teacher marks you late every day, even though you're in there on time.
Yeah.
Okay? That's not something that you necessarily should expect the school board, me, for example, to come down here and have a conversation with your teacher about marking you late. So we deal at a policy level. The superintendent and his staff deal with all operations. Okay. That's the basic level understanding that folks need to really hold, right?
Yeah.
Now, if it comes to things like dress code, there is a policy on dress code.
Yeah.
That's something you can talk to the school board about, right?
Okay.
We have one employee.
Yeah.
Our employee is the superintendent. The superintendent has employees. It's everybody who works in the schools. So there's a little bit of a hierarchy that folks need to understand, and that's what I was able to research and get an understanding on before I jumped in.
So the school board is who hires the superintendent, right?
Bingo.
Oh, okay.
Bingo.
I didn't know that.
All right, that's good. You have to run. You have to run for terms, correct? How's that?
Yeah. So in Tacoma, and it's different everywhere you go. Some school boards in the country have 4-year terms, just like president, mayor, council, things of that nature. We actually here in Tacoma have 6-year terms that we have to run for. Now, my situation is different. We had someone who had been on the school board for quite some time. They retired halfway through their 6-year term. So I was appointed by the school board, which means I didn't have to run a campaign or anything like that to get on, for 1 year. And then that second year, I actually had to run a campaign to continue on in the seat for the remaining 2 years. Interestingly enough, I'm about to make a decision on if I'm going to run again here pretty soon. I got to figure out what we're going to do, and then I actually run for a 6-year term. Running for office is not for the faint of heart. It's a lot of extra work, right? School board members all have other jobs, right? So this is a labor of love. This is because we actually care about the schools, we care about the students, we care about the staff, and anybody who comes together to work to move our students forward. Yes, so it's a lot of work. It's difficult, but it's worth it at the end of the day.
And what drives you to work as a school board member?
Selfishly, I've got 2 kids. Both of them are new into the realm of education. I've got a 3rd grader and I've got a 4-year-old who is in pre-K.
Yeah.
So I figure if anybody's going to be making decisions that impact my babies,
Yeah.
I want to be at the table to make sure ain't no funny business
Mm-hmm.
happening.
Yeah.
Not only that, I'm a Tacoma kid,
Mm-hmm.
right? I went to Lincoln, spent 4 years there, worked in Tacoma schools for 14 years before I was able to be on the school board. So I'm personally invested, man. I care about y'all. I care about kids, but I definitely care about my own
Your
babies.
kids,
So I
yeah.
want to make sure we're doing things the right way.
Yeah.
So like, quick question, like, what made you just one day, like, get up out of bed and just be like, you know what, I'm gonna work for the school? Like, what just made you just be like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do today?
Well, like I said earlier, man, it's important for when I was in school, it was important that I had folks who looked like me teaching me stuff, right? And when I was in high school, I didn't have many black teachers. I had a black football coach, had a black basketball coach, we had black janitor, extracurriculars, right?
Yeah.
But when it came down to who's my instructor, who's making curriculum decisions, I didn't see me,
Yeah.
right? So in order for when I'm old, which is a long time from now, let's just be clear, because I'm a young fella in this game. But when I get older, I want to make sure that the young folks who are leading the charge
Yeah.
are educated and prepared to do so. And the only way to do that is to have very intentional influence on the things that they learn, right? And how they do it. So I woke up one morning before I filed and I said, okay, we're really gonna do this. And I made the decision, right? A lot of time planning can be the enemy of making progress.
Yeah.
So we gotta, if you feel like you're gonna do something and you really wanna do it and you're passionate about it, just make the move.
What's your position as a board director, and how have you used your position to not only better the district and schools, but students themselves?
So my position is just that, right? So I serve on a couple different committees. I get to serve on the Joint Municipal Action Committee. It's called JMAC. It's a whole bunch of elected officials from different municipalities, the city, the port, schools, the parks. We come together to make sure that individually as organizations, we are all moving in the same direction to impact the constituents that we serve. I also get to serve on the WIAA Interscholastics and Activities Committee. I'm a big sports guy, right?
Yeah.
So if something's happening at the state level that's going to impact our students, I want to make sure I'm there.
Yeah.
But it's important for folks to understand that school board members don't have power. We have influence individually. As a collective, that's how we make decisions. So no one school board director can make a decision that's going to change the trajectory of the district, right? It has to be a consensus. Everybody, all five of us need to be on the same page, in the same book to be able to make change. So that's important to understand. One thing that I was able to do individually, though, was to get us all on the same page about where we stood on anti-racism, right?
Yeah.
In the past, we have not had an anti-racism policy, and that's the level that we work at. So I'm a part of a national cohort of school board directors from all over the country. We come together to figure out how we can create anti-racist school communities. And that's something I'm very passionate about. So we started this conversation back in March. Here we are now in November. We passed the policy in September, right before school started. So it's important for me, what have I done to ensure that everybody knows that in this district, you have a place, you have a voice, you're important, and you belong. If I can make sure we maintain that, I feel like I've done my job in my position.
Wow, thank you. I learned a lot. I had no idea there was five board members.
Yep,
So yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming out.
for sure.
You got anything to say?
Yeah, thank you. I actually learned some things too, because I didn't know there was five of you. So,
Yeah, it's 5 of us. Hold on, can I ask y'all a question?
yeah,
What grade you in? You're a senior. What grade you in?
same.
Senior, okay. But this ain't gonna benefit y'all. But it's important for you to know that you have an opportunity to be engaged with the school board, right? And you can actually be a student rep on the school board, right? So you might find someone who is a junior that is interested in coming to school board meetings, learning how things work, seeing how we make decisions, being part of that conversation on Thursdays at our school board meetings. We actually have 4 or 5 student reps right now that are a part of the team, man, and they give a student perspective, one that we don't often see to some of the decisions that we make. And from here, I believe Paris Quinn is our student rep. So talk to her and ask her about her experience, and she'll be able to point y'all in the right direction on how to get down.
Okay. All right. So like, we gonna ask a couple more questions.
For sure.
So like, we kind of want to get to know you for a little second.
Yeah, let's do that.
So like, bucket list. Like, what do you want to do? Like, your bucket list. What is it?
Bucket list. And I never had a bucket list till y'all asked me that question. Well, actually, I got tipped off that I was going to be doing bucket list. So a couple different things. First thing, I love flying on airplanes. I feel like it's the most comfortable thing in the world, right? You can get on the airplane and you can just go to sleep and then wake up in another state. Beautiful, right? One thing I don't fool with too much is like looking out the window and seeing that you just suspended in the air. So in order to seek the thrill, one of the things I would do for sure is skydive. Now, I don't know if my family might take a look at this because I know I might show them if y'all post it. That does not mean we about to go jump out of airplanes. But if I had a choice, like if all things were coming to an end, I would definitely skydive for sure. Another thing that I mentioned, I would completely unplug and disconnect for a week. Like this is something that I actually could do like right away in comparison to skydiving. I feel like it's something beautiful about being unreachable for a little bit, right? Not being on social media, not responding to text messages or phone calls, and really just being one with yourself, understanding where you want to go, where you've been, and appreciating it. I think that's extremely important. So that's another thing I would do, completely unplug and detox for a week.
So like, just completely go out into nature and find yourself.
Yeah, go out to get a cabin, or even just stay at the crib, really, and just like be disconnected. It ain't got to be extravagant, but that's something that I think I'm about to jump on here shortly.
Another one is like, it's a deep question, but like I'm gonna kind of switch it up at last minute.
Okay.
So like, what is like one quote you heard before and it's like kind of stuck with you?
Ooh. Man, I live by quotes. So that's actually a little bit easier for me to answer. The quote is, it's on you to get you where you want to be, right? So outside of, you can't blame anybody for where you currently are. You can't blame anyone for where you're going. It's absolutely on you to make a decision, like I mentioned earlier. If you want to do something, it's up to you to just do it. So the quote is, it's on you to get you where you want to be.
Okay.
One quote I live by is comparison is the thief of joy.
Mm.
And I always thought, well, yeah, you think about, well, personally, I always compared to myself to like, let's say, an influencer that's my age, that's accomplished way more than me. How do you go day by day knowing like, oh, dang, I could have done this and I would have been so much further in life, but you chose to do this.
Yeah. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, right?
Yeah.
That's one part of the 5-day detox thing, right? Because everybody falls victim to the comparison trap at some point in their life. But the reality is you can't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 7, right? You don't know when they started. You don't know what they went through to get there, right? But it's absolutely your job to write your own book, right? But also, before you even get there, you have to determine what is my definition of success, right? For you, it could be, I'm doing interviews at school. I'm a senior. I'm successful. I'm passing my classes. I'm successful, right? Because what they always say, more money, more problems, right? And that's what comes along with, you're a social media influencer. You getting bread for wearing outfits and posting products and all of that stuff. But the more money you got, the more things you have to worry about. Have you ever thought about if you made, you're in the 12th grade right now, you come up on $100,000. Have you thought about the problems that could come along with that? No. All of the people that are your friends, the family you ain't talked to, everybody gonna want something from you. Are you prepared to deal with that?
No.
So what I would say to you is determine your own definition of success, and that will help you combat the comparison trap. It's always you versus you, never you versus them.
Your biggest competitor is yourself.
There you go.
So, I got a question. Like, do you think money changes people?
No question.
Like, why though?
It's supposed to. Doesn't have to change you for the worse, Doesn't have to be a bad thing, right? I'll be honest with you. I have never been, we getting on a personal level now, right? So we good, okay. I've never been in this position before, right? There have been many years where I've been completely broke, right? When my first daughter was born, we were saving money in a monkey piggy bank, right? And my wife had to stop working earlier than expected, which means we wasn't getting no paycheck. I wasn't making the money I thought I was making, right? I had to break into my daughter's piggy bank, go over to the coin store, pour that coin in there and get the little $14 so that I could make sure my wife had something to eat, right? But I've never been in this position before. So it's changed me. Not having something has changed me, right? And now that I'm having things, that's changed me as well. But it doesn't have to be a negative thing, right? It's just changed the position of life that I'm in. That's a good question. You think money changed you? Absolutely. Come on.
You don't have any more questions? You can go ahead.
So another thing is, it's like you've been working for the schools for so long. Like, do you ever think about like just like stop doing it?
Oh, yeah. I do think about stop doing it. Sometimes it's hard, man. Like one of our charges, right, is to ensure that we can keep kids safe. And we know we live in an uncertain climate right now. A lot of times, sometimes I wake up and the stress is so much that I'm like, yo, I don't have to do this. But then I ask myself, if not me, then who? Yeah. Right? I know for a fact, because I can only talk about myself, that every single day I'm going to fight for every single student. Yeah. Right? My real job, I work in alternative education. Right? Education is my thing. It's my thing, you know? And if I walked out of it, who would I be? Yeah. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's not about the money. I'm not rich in money, but I'm rich in relationships, I'm rich in opportunity, and I'm rich in the belief that I'm doing what's necessary to prepare our young people to lead in the future. And as long as I do that, I know when I get old and gray that I'm gonna be in good hands. Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
So you talked about thinking like, oh yeah, if I don't do it, someone else. Who else is gonna do it? I always thought about like the police, you know, how all that was happening. I always thought, why don't people like me that want change, why don't we go in there and change it? Because we can't leave it up to someone else. Is that what you thought, to go into school district and say, well, I'm going to change it because no one else seems to go and do it?
Kind of, right? It's hard to change systems from the inside. But it's also important that we understand that big ships turn slowly. It's also important to understand exactly what you're getting yourself into, right? Folks have these grand ideas about change in system, and I want to change. But when you sit down and ask them, okay, what exactly do you want to change? They don't know. Yeah. They don't know, right? So it starts with an understanding and an education about what it is that's not working right, and then having a plan about what you're going to do in order to change that ship. But big ships turn slowly. When I ran for school board, or I applied to be on the school board to fill that appointment, I didn't think that the district was in a bad spot. But I knew that a person who cared about education, who believed in the power of education, and who also had young people of his own, daughters of his own, going into that system, that school district deserves somebody with that passion. Yeah. So that's the mindset that I had when I came in, right? Not necessarily, yo, it's going terrible and I need to change. It's actually going great. Yeah. Right? Think about this. In 2010, our school district was labeled a dropout factory. You ever see that article?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Folks come to these schools to, not be successful. And then with the work of so many people, teachers, all staff, administrators, it changed this thing around, man. Yeah. We sending kids out college and career ready now. Yeah. Our graduation rates are through the roof, right? That's because of hard work and dedication, but it's also because the folks who are doing the work are passionate about the work. And that's how we change things. Yeah. Good question.
So about the skydiving.
About the skydiving. Uh-oh.
So, like, are you afraid of, well, I shouldn't really say afraid of heights, but, like, if you do it, what do you think you would be thinking?
To be honest with you.
You out the plane, you falling. Like, what do you think is just about to be, like, oh snap, I'm actually falling.
Yeah, the first thing I'm gonna think is, I hope this parachute works. I mean, let's keep it G. Like, just because I jump out the plane don't mean I want to end everything. So the
It
first
be
thing I'll
like
be
that.
thinking is, I hope this parachute works. But secondly, I might take an opportunity to kind of change the perspective, right? I've seen some of my friends jump out of planes routinely, right? They are licensed to instruct, right? So I have the pathway to do it if I wanted to. But I noticed you got goggles on so you can see,
Yeah.
right? The wind ain't blowing your eyes and flapping. Your face might look funny, but you can see. You have all of the things you need to keep you safe. And then you have somebody on your back to make sure you don't go off of the path, right? So if you look at it from that perspective, I'm going to take the opportunity when I'm falling from however many feet up in the air to really take in the beauty of what you can see from that perspective. You feel me?
You don't want to do it solo?
Nah. Nah, I ain't gonna cap. No. Look, I'll probably forget when to pull the thing. You falling for a couple feet, they tell you when to pull it. I'll probably forget.
Yeah, I'll probably be too scared to even do it. Like, I have no problems with plane rides.
Yeah.
But like, once I feel that turbulence, I'll be like, yo, hold up.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different mindset.
Yeah, it's a different game. Turbulence inside the plane versus the wind blowing you around outside the plane is, yeah, I'm good. I think I'm gonna stay 10 toes down.
All right. What would you say the second thing will have to be in your bucket list? Like, must have done.
Must have done. All right, so if we move the skydiving off of there and I move up, unplugging and disconnecting is number one. Number two is I really want to go to Dubai.
Ooh.
I really want to go to Dubai. That's one of the places that I frequently look at on my phone and put myself there mentally.
Yeah, that's a good place. I low key want to go like to an island like where like Hawaii, somewhere like somewhere out there. Like I feel like I would have a good time. I'll enjoy myself out there.
I've never been to Hawaii either, and I will tell you that from my friends who have gone and the photos that I've seen, my supervisor from my real job is actually in Hawaii right now. We was on a meeting yesterday. She's like, yeah, I think it's about 86.
86.
Nice breeze. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Living
That's
life.
what's up. Living the dream.
Yeah, I'm hating a little bit, but
So am I.
it's all good. But like,
How old are you?
Depends on who's asking. No, I'm kidding. 33.
33?
Yep.
Where'd you, 10 years ago, did you see yourself where you are right now?
No.
What changed?
10 years ago, at 23, my baby was on the way.
Mm-hmm.
I was for sure that I'd be working in athletics somewhere.
Yeah.
I was an athletic director at Falls High School for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I was an athletic assistant at Lincoln for a little bit. So I was sure that athletics was my career. I thought I'd be coaching a team and or working in athletic administration. But yeah, that didn't happen. Also, like I didn't have my master's degree nor my bachelor's degree 10 years ago. Yeah. So I was working on it. I didn't know if I'd ever get there. It was a little bit of a struggle, especially with a newborn. But yeah, I did not expect 10 years ago that I'd be here.
It seems like you stayed in the area like your whole life.
Oh, well, I moved here in 2005. Yeah. When was you born?
2004. No, I was born 2004.
That makes me feel
okay. But you stayed here after.
Yeah.
You like it here?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, some of the best air quality in the world.
Yeah, well, not
when
for
it's when it's behaving.
Yeah.
And it's not wildfires everywhere.
Yeah. Where were you born?
I was born in Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. Dang, that's a drive.
Dallas,
hot
Texas.
down there.
Yeah, it's dusty in Dallas, but I was born in Dallas. Came here from Flint, Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah.
you say you from Dallas, huh?
Yeah.
So like, I'm guessing your favorite football team.
No.
Oh,
No, sir.
What is that?
I mean, what I'm about to say isn't much better, but I always got to go with the home team, which is I love the Seahawks because that's all I knew since I've been here. But if we're going deep down, the Detroit Lions is my squad. Again, I told you I came here from Flint, Michigan. So,
We can really debate about this over and over, but that we don't got that much time. So,
Okay.
you feel me?
okay.
But yeah, like when you landed in Seattle,
hmm
what was you thinking?
Um, so I was culture shocked, right? I had never seen so many folks from different walks of life before. I came from Flint, Michigan, small bubble in the city, all black people. Not all, but majority. That's all I saw. So when I got off the plane, it's kind of like, okay, like this is
So,
is different.
this how y'all living out here,
This
huh?
is different.
Okay.
Yeah. I immediately noticed how green it was. Okay, and then the third thing that I noticed was, why is there so much traffic by the Tacoma Dome? It took forever to get from the airport to my house in Tacoma. Yeah.
So I have a question for Dante that I think you could help on.
Okay.
You wanted to start this podcast for a while now, and it took you a while to, start it. Now that you're here talking about it, is there anything you can ask him, even though it's completely different? Anything you can ask him on advice on?
To be honest with you, when I started this, I was low key doing this for fun. Like, just when I started the class, not just the podcast. When I started the class and I got into it, I didn't really know what I was doing. But then Mr. Johnson was like, "Yo, can you go out and interview people one day?" And I forgot who I was with, but I just started doing stuff as a joke, like start asking random people stupid questions, all this and that, and it was working. It was kind of working because like, and then I did like this little show, Slaps or Whack. That was like kind of going because a lot of people liked it, but I stopped uploading it. So like, my question is, hold on, I'm trying to really
Yeah.
get
Process.
it going. But like, my question is like, when I like, what? Fuck, I can't really think. But my question, it's like, if I was to keep doing this, how would you do it?
Ooh. I plan out the school year.
So like, just plan out the whole school
I'm
year.
planning out the school year. I know that every time I'm in the hallway,
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking people questions. When I'm in the classroom, I'm planning on the questions that I'm gonna ask people. I'm going to football games, volleyball games, basketball games. I'm talking to parents. I'm talking to staff. You ain't even necessarily got to have Mr. Johnson's equipment to make your podcast jump or your shows jump. You got your phone. Hey, it's next level. You got on what's the app? No, hold on. No. On Snapchat, you can record yourself and the other person with the
Oh
reverse
yeah,
camera.
yeah,
You could
that.
be on that. But my thing is, if you're gonna do something like this, you want to always be in that mode, right? If you're serious about it. But again, I talked about it earlier. You want to go back to why you're doing it, right? I want to do this to entertain people, right? So what better? Like, we know school sometimes get hard. People are frustrated. People are tired. You taking exams, state tests. You doing all of this stuff, right? So my job as a podcaster or an interviewer or whatever, a reporter or whatever the case may be, is to get folks' mind off of what's frustrating them.
What do you think? What do you think I should do to bring more entertainment? Like, what would you bring?
What would I bring? One thing I think is important is, all right, we are in a school. You belong to the school. You don't belong to the school, but you are a member of the student body,
Yeah.
right? You have stake in this building. So I want to know, like, what is it about Mount T that you love the most, right? That's something that you can ask staff, students, parents. There are some staff here that are alumni. That's a whole segment right there.
Right there.
You know what I'm saying? New shoes come out, new video games come out. Do y'all do sports reporting? Here's my question. Have you seen First Take? You know who Stephen A. Smith is?
Nope.
Do you know Skip and Shannon?
Who's that?
So these are people who are on ESPN every day talking about sports, Talk about LeBron James, they talking about Kyrie, talk about KD. You guys could do that, but for Mount Tahoma.
Yeah.
You have a whole debate on why Mount Tahoma is the best basketball team in the league.
What about their football team?
Or their football team.
Yeah. The basketball team and the football team here, they're pretty good. I just don't really go to their games.
Yeah, but if you're going to get content, it might be something you consider.
Yeah.
Feel me? What you
Yeah.
see on TV is what people want to see. That's the reason why that stuff is on the television. So if you take that concept and apply it to Mount Tahoma High School, it's going to be what people want to see.
So you was talking about video games. Like, what, you play video games?
Hey, I'll be on the sticks every now and then.
This is the biggest debate right here. Xbox, PC, or PlayStation?
PS5. Got the PS5.
The PS5? I'll buy it from you.
Got the 5. We can have that conversation if you
All
want.
right, perfect. Perfect. I like you know,
Everything has a price. No, I'm just playing.
but I grew up on both, so I like Xbox and PlayStation.
Yep.
But what did you playing that new Call of Duty?
I got the Call of Duty at the crib. I just beat the campaign mode. I'm waiting for TDM to launch on the 16th.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet. It looked dope though.
Yeah, it's pretty cool actually. I'm glad that it came back. It's more modern.
Yeah.
But I'm also on 2K if anybody wants the business. Anybody in Mount T that
got
wants
you.
the business.
I got you. We can really set it up here. One day we're gonna have them come back. We're gonna play 2K.
Invite me. Invite me. I'll be in here. Jazz, I'm not playing with him. I'm not.
You mentioned how I think it was when your wife was pregnant, you guys were kind of struggling with money.
Yep.
What's your favorite struggle meal?
Ooh, top ramen.
Top ramen?
No
Just
question.
top ramen?
Top ramen with the egg.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or if you got a little couple, some sausages, some Slim Jims, you chop it
Yeah.
up, put it in there. You got some leftover chicken, throw that in there.
Yeah.
Come on now. Come on, no, that's
you're
top
right, you're
ramen.
right, yeah.
Easy.
So like, you be seasoning it up?
Of course.
Yeah.
You don't just use the packet. Like you use the packet, but you use some onion powder, some garlic powder, chili
Yeah.
powder, a little salt and pepper. Yeah.
Man, you gotta hook it up.
You gotta
out here.
spice it up.
They don't know.
It ain't a struggle meal. It ain't a struggle meal if it don't have to be, right? If it's your
For real.
favorite, this is gourmet.
Yeah.
Take this out. Take this out the pot. Put it on the bowl with some little chopped onions on top. Come on, fam.
Oh yeah.
Come
Easy.
on. Come on.
Turn struggle into gourmet. How you
Come on
feel?
now. Struggle to gourmet. That's how we get in.
Yeah,
From the hood to Hollywood.
Yep. Take it till we make it. Yeah. But, all right. Quick question. Have you ever faked it till you made it?
Why?
Cause like I know I do.
Yeah.
I know I faked it till I had to make it a couple times.
Yeah.
Like, the reason why I just had like something was like, oh, this will kill my friends at school. This right there, bam, I already got them.
Okay. Well, I would ask in what ways? In what ways are you?
Fake it till you make it. Like, have you ever like fronted to somebody like I can say to Jazmin, like, yo, I know Drake.
Oh, yeah.
Or, yo, I got this car. It's right outside.
I hear you.
It ain't really there. Like, have you ever did that?
Nah. You want to know why?
Why?
Because I'm really him.
Ooh,
I'm really him. Like, I don't need to pretend that I'm him if I'm really him.
just like that?
All you got to do is be who you say you are, and
Yeah.
you're good to go.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm gonna write that down. Write that down. You got anything else? No? What keeps you driven? Like not work, but life related. Like what keeps you driven to go every day, give it your all?
My kids.
Your kids?
Yeah, and I've got a lot of. I got 2 younger sisters.
Mhm.
I got 2 daughters. I got a lot of cousins. Right. I texted my cousin something yesterday. I said, "Hey man, keep going. I'm proud of you." He texted me back. He said, "You're my inspiration." Never said that to me before. That's why, right?
Yeah.
Like when I think about giving up or walking away or anything like that, the reality is there's so many people watching.
Yeah.
Right? I'm their example. So that's enough to wake me up in the morning. There are a lot of times where I'm like, fam, I'm sleeping in till a good 11, 12, right? But there's so much to do.
Yeah.
So what keeps me going is my daughters, first and foremost, my family, secondly, just because I know there's so many people watching. But also y'all, right? Like if I don't show up,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not saying that I am the it factor. I'm him, but I might not be the it factor, but I do have influence and something to contribute to every conversation. So
I heard somewhere that some guy said that every kid they have, it kind of motivated him even more. Like he had a kid and he wanted to do 10 times harder. Did you feel that when you had your daughters?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. When I look at my little ones, man, I'm like, y'all get on my nerves, but you are also my battery.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, I love that.
All right. You said your kids were 4 and 5?
4 and 8.
4 and 8. Are you ready to see them in 10 years?
It don't got to come that quickly. Like, the reality is I feel like they both were just babies yesterday. But, yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see, you know, what path they carve out for themselves. You know, like, nothing influenced by dad. You know what I mean? I don't want to force my kids to do anything. I want them to chart their own path, understanding that dad is, you know what I'm saying, the marker for certain things. Like, the reality is that one day my baby's going to have a boyfriend, right? They're going to want to go to homecoming, and they're going to want to go kick it with their people. And I want to make sure that my example is strong enough for they know that they got to make the right decisions. So am I ready for that? Let's keep it G. Yeah, I am. I would like to see that. Does it have to come quickly? Absolutely not.
It don't. So back to that 2K.
Back to that 2K.
We no, I have to know who you use.
Okay. I typically allow my opponent to choose first. I'm not that guy that's going to run straight to the Lakers, even though that's my favorite squad, even though we're 2 and 8 right now. I get it. I understand. I'll choose the Dallas Mavericks. Luka's a beast. I will never play with the Warriors.
Why is that?
So, you know, but if you choose somebody like the Pistons, I can really pick whatever team I want. And it's, you know, I'm going to give you 21 real quick, and then we got to pass the stick.
Why not the Warriors? Why not play his name?
It's a cheat code if you know about basketball offensive strategy. Like, all you got to do is have Steph or Clay or Jordan Poole open, and they're going to knock down shots.
Yeah. But this is 2K23. This is the new one we talking about.
With the new shot meter and all of that, yeah, I understand.
What about Madden?
You don't want to Madden either. I'm sorry.
I would really personally get you. I think I could.
Hey, you know, and let's just be honest. I believe in you. But I believe in me, too.
We believe in each other.
I'm him. I'm trying to tell you, I'm him. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not the GOAT, but I know how to win. So.
Yeah, we definitely gotta get that popping one day.
Let me know, man.
I'm gonna call you back. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Y'all, when y'all set it up, give me a ring.
Yes, we sure will. But
Yep.
we gonna have to end this.
Let's wrap it up.
Right here. So appreciate y'all for watching. It's your boy Don.
It's Jazmin.
Director Korey Strozier.
Peace.